Hey y'all, this is Uncle Dan on his front porch. It's really not that cold, but man, it's windy. So anyway, welcome to my front porch. Get yourself a coffee, come on up, sit down, and we're going to talk about some secrets to the good life. And I've been noticing that some of y'all on Facebook complain about how your life's miserable, downright sucks. Well, I got some helpful tips on how to escape your miserable life. So we're going to talk about them real quick. I got 4 of them, and they probably got subcategories, but 4 main ones. Number 1, I need to surrender myself to God if I don't want my life to suck. Jesus' half-brother says it this way. He says, God resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, God is the designer of life. So he's giving these instructions on how things are supposed to work. When I go the opposite direction, it's not going to work. So that's one hit against me already. And then, because of my arrogance, thinking I can do it my way, God also resists me. So that's kind of like a double whammy. Set up for failure. Might be able to figure out why your life's sucking about right now. Okay? Now, that's not the only reason why life sucks, but that's the main overarching thing. Underneath that are some other issues. Have you stopped learning? That's the second thing is never stop learning. I don't care how old you are, you cannot stop learning. If you stop learning, you stop being useful. So that's one of the things I do for myself. Is I try to keep myself learning something, just a little bit. This is not like you got to go to school every day, but keep a humble mindset and understand that you don't know everything, and don't hesitate to do something new. Because if I always stick with what's comfortable, I'm probably gonna stop learning, and then I stop being useful. So I just got to keep learning, embracing new things. Now, I don't have to change everything in my life, but, try something new because it'll help that learning mindset. Now, I find something very interesting that King Solomon says, and if you're not reading Proverbs, I just encourage you to stick your nose in Proverbs on a daily basis, even if it's a couple verses. But here's one of the things that Solomon says. Solomon says that, he's got negative things to say about people who he calls fools and the simple. Now, fools, they just don't care. They don't care to know. The simple is people that just don't know. And he has a lot of positive things to say about going after wisdom, seeking understanding, being wise. I think basically what he's saying is don't stop learning. Learn from the right people, but never stop learning. So that's one of the things I do for me. It helps my life not to suck. Now, another thing that I found that's very helpful is work. Yes, I know it's a 4-letter word, but if you go back in the very beginning, God gave Adam work. Now, some of y'all have been told that work is a curse, and that's wrong. It's not. Before Adam did his screw up in the Garden of Eden, God had work for him to do. Now, you'll find that the people who get in trouble the most, or in most instances, the people who are getting in trouble when they're what? Not working. Yeah. I want you to think about that. Now, you may say to me, well, I don't have a job. Not having a job does not stop you from working. So I don't care where you find your situation. I don't even care if you wheelchair bound and can't do a whole lot. Find something that you can do. Keep your mind busy with productive things. So that's one of the things I find is, now for me, I do a lot of non-physical labor. So sometimes it's helpful to me if I just switch things up and just come home and get out there in the yard and just do some good old-fashioned manual labor. If you do a lot of manual labor, you might need to switch things up and do a little more mental stuff. Just kind of, I don't know. Each situation is a little different, but sometimes for those of us who do have a job, just changing up our work a little bit, as in doing something outside of our employment, it helps. Now, and then there's one more thing, and I just want to give credit to a friend of mine, Roy Picaron. Is he helped underscore this thing for me, is volunteering. Now, I've always been raised to be involved, but there's some serious value in your life not being miserable in getting involved in the community. It makes you a more rounded person. And what you'll find is when you start volunteering in the community, you get yourself around other positive people who are trying to make a difference, people who are trying to get somewhere in life, people who you wouldn't normally interact with. Now you're interacting with them and they're bringing something that's missing into your life. So I firmly believe in community involvement. Now, I'll say I believe in it, I act on it. That's how you know I believe it. I'm involved in the church. I go into a prison and teach a class. I look for other ways getting involved. Some people just get involved in, say, like in the running community. You know, 5Ks and different stuff. You know, these 5Ks raise money, and the running community is a very positive community, but just getting your behind out of your house, away from yourself, will do you wonders, I'm telling you, because it works for me. So anyway, I hope this helped you, but this is things that have helped me escape being miserable. So there's plenty of things to do out there, folks, than pickling your liver by knocking back a few, or chasing that drug of choice, or whatever other addiction you got that's holding you down. Stop sitting around focusing on how miserable you are and get yourself out there. Learn something. Find something different, work outside of your employment. Find somewhere to volunteer. But most of all, I learned that I have to surrender myself to God, because He is the only person capable of eradicating my misery. Y'all, this is Uncle Dan on his front porch, enjoying the wind, enjoying the cool weather and the sunshine. I encourage you to get out there today, enjoy God's creation, and find somebody to help. God bless y'all.